Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This video is kind of for everybody, and it's also really for Tom. Tom, I'm sorry I didn't release this video yesterday. Alright, we've been talking in emails about doing the shifter rod. Don't let this scare you. It's not that hard of a process. The first thing I'd recommend is if you have the same style shift box as mine, what I'd recommend is putting in a seat. Take your shifter, bolt it to your box. If you can have a friend help, it does help with holding it. You want to be able to sit in that seat and reach to wherever you feel comfortable to get the neighborhood location of that. Once you got the location, if you have a friend helping you, you might have to jack up the front and go up underneath it, but just put some wisdom lines, just like a little 1 line, 2 lines, to keep it orientated, so in case it moves, you remember where you had it set. If you have a friend helping, have them hold the shifter straight vertical. Go from underneath where you see the ball. I had just put my demonstration piece away, so just happened to be, I have, not sure if it's a factory shifter, but it is a Volkswagen shifter. There is the ball that I was talking about in the email. And you see the little pin, that's for the lockout. What's funny, I have the shifter, but I would have to hunt for the lockout plate. So when you're sitting in here, what you want to be is very comfortable to grab that shifter, especially depending on if you're going to put, I got 3-point harnesses on mine. You want to be able to just reach straight out and grab your shifter and feel comfortable without overextending your arm. So, like I said, I would just bolt the two together and then have maybe a friend hold this. Go vertical, kind of maybe kick it back depending on your style, but you want to be able to orientate it so the ball itself is facing straight down. Take a measurement from that ball and come all the way back to this coupler. Now you notice there's a pin, or is it a bolt that goes straight through this, so that's going to kind of set everything. What you can do, if you have the coupler, go ahead and slide it on your transaxle. Take the measurement from right here, right in this little V. Take a measurement from there to the ball right on the bottom of that shifter. That's going to determine the exact length you need. The reason I say take that length, you can take your 4-foot original stock shifter, cut out 2 pieces that are going to be the absolute straightest. So in the end, when you're going to weld it and you're going to grind it, and you are going to grind everything smooth, don't let it intimidate you. And the reason you're going to grind it is because you got to going through the shift box is not the problem. It's you got to have that bushing. When I originally built my rail, I didn't have the bushing. A local VW shop, actually it's in the big city now since I've moved, they recommended I needed it, so I had them install it. But that bushing will take out all your slop. Just Google VW Sanrail shifter bushing, and you're going to see several different styles. We'll cut the light on. That's approximately an inch. Actually, it's about let's say 1.5 inches by maybe 2.5. It's about 2.5 by 1.5 inches. You're going to have to weld this thing. You're going to do tack welds and space them all the way out. This metal is thin. Don't burn through. If you do, it's nothing. Let it all cool down and fill in the weld. Then do some grinding. Just take your time. Whenever you have that shifter, the whole entire shifter rod done, as long as you felt comfortable the first time, if you shorten it up, say 1/2 inch, 1 inch, or if you overextend it by 1 inch, you still will be in the neighborhood of comfortable. That's all it is. It's not that hard. The biggest thing is when you cut it, you want to cut the 2 straightest sections. So go from the shift ball as far back as you feel comfortable of straightness. Cut it maybe on a chop saw to get a full 90-degree cut. Then whatever your overall measurement, you'll measure from the tip to where you made your cut. You write that number down. Then figure out how much you need of the very back half, and that's how you're going to weld it. Maybe leave an 1/8 in there, so if you want to leave a little spacing and then just fill in with the weld. That's how we did mine. It's nothing very much complicated. I actually kind of wish I had the part so I could actually just do it on film, but I just really wanted to explain it. The measurements from my rail will only work from my style rail, and I cannot honestly remember I think this might be, it's a Fisher Buggies built frame. I believe it's a Warrior. They don't make this chassis anymore. They make one close to it. Now keep in mind, I didn't buy this thing ready to bolt together. That chassis, or I'm sorry, the torsion tube is out of the 65. We literally chopped it with the whole floor pan, took this motor transaxle right out of the 65, rolled it out. We unbolted the whole front end. Whenever we brought this back, I bolted my whole front end, clamped it right in place. We really had cinder blocks in the back, a couple pieces of wood to level it right where we needed it, and we rolled it together, squared it up and tacked it in, and within an hour we had a roller. Now going back to the what is my phone doing? Going back to the shifter rod, like I said, the biggest thing is to make sure you're going to be in your seat comfortable, and if you have a harness, you want to make sure, plant your back against that seat. You want to make sure you can reach forward, and wherever that shifter box you want it, that's where I would set it. And like I said, it really helps to have a friend hold the box and kind of trying to keep that ball and that bottom half of that shaft vertical, so you can run your measurement from there back to that coupler. And like I said, if you're off within an inch, it's not going to make that much difference. This isn't really going to be a rocket scientist thing. As long as it's in that neighborhood, you will feel comfortable in it. Tom, I'm sorry if there's anything I didn't explain any further. Like I said, this is really easy. Don't let it intimidate you. Just email me back since you have my email, and I will try to answer it as much as possible. I'm hoping that kind of helps explain it, because like I said, my measurement from the measurement I gave you is going to be different than yours, depending on your chassis and different things. Kind of like this bar was pre-welded in. If I wanted to, I could have welded another one right here, and I could actually scooted my seats up more forward if I wanted to. Or I could have put sliders in and made it adjustable. But for me, the pedals are fixed to me, the steering wheels, and for me, everything up here in that driver cockpit is set for my measurements. Hopefully that helps you. Like I said, don't let it intimidate you. Once you have that bar made and you're right in the neighborhood, even without that welded in, slide it through, connect it. Maybe just put a tack weld, one on each side, and start shifting it. If it shifts perfect, you're done. And like I said, if you're off within an inch back and forth, as long as overall as your arm goes from that seat, comfortable without overextending or underextending, to that shifter ball, you are actually good. I promise, like that is the most easiest thing you're going to be able to do on a rail. Well guys, I hope all y'all kind of enjoy this, me kind of explaining it. If anybody has any questions, just put them down in the comments and I'll try to answer them as well. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and if you haven't, hit that subscribe button and those couple of comments. I love talking to everybody.